Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today in this tutorial I am going to show you how we can create this e-commerce app in React Native with Expo router. So to give you the proper demo, let me first reload this app. So here you can see we have a welcome screen, and here we can see an image in the background, and then we have this gradient background effect, and here we have the brand name and the description of it, and then we have some social login buttons, and then if we have an account then we can sign in from this button. So here let me click on this continue with email. This opens up the sign up screen, and this is opening in a model, and this model is specifically on iOS. This is the expo router feature. For Android it will be just another screen. This is just the expo router model which I have used here, and here you can see we have the sign up form, and with that form we have the social login buttons as well. And here you must have noticed that we have some animation while presenting these buttons. Similarly for this one also we have some animation, so all these things appearing beautifully on the screen, right? And after that here also we can see we have the sign in button. After clicking on that, here we are presented with the sign in screen, right? And from here also we are presented with the sign in screen, and this is just the UI, so we don't have the functionality to log in or create the account. So let me just click on this button. After clicking on this button we are presented with the app screen, the main app screen, and here you can see all the components are beautifully presented with an animation. And here first we can notice at the bottom we have the custom bottom tab navigator, and we have 5 tabs present. In the tabs we can notice that for the profile, instead of icon we have the user image, and I haven't implemented the profile screen yet. I will implement that later in future part of this tutorial series. In this tutorial I am going to implement the screens which I have just shown you: the welcome screen, the sign in screen, the sign up, and then the home screen. And other than that, all of these screens are not done yet. I will do it in future. So here you can see when we are going to a different tab, that time this top line animating beautifully, right? And for this cart we have this badge which is also custom made. So I will show you how to implement all these things for the custom tab bar. And then for the home screen, here you can see this is the layout. First we have the header, and in the header we have the logo, then the search, and in the search button if we click then we will go to explore screen. Okay, and that time also this animation works beautifully. Then we have the category, and this is all the categories. We can click on see all to see all the categories. And then we have the flash sale section, and here we can see we have a timer, a countdown timer, right? So this is for the sale. This is to notify the user that this long the sale will be active. And here we have all the items, all the products which are present in the sale, and also we have the see all button to present all the sale item to the user. And after that here we have a banner. We have a sale banner or promotional banner, whatever banner you can present here. So this is that. And after that we have the for you section, and this is a section which is curated for the user, and this is all the products which are being listed here. Okay, so this is end of the screen. So this is what we are going to create today. So if you are interested in these kinds of tutorial, then hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more tutorials like this, and don't forget to hit the notification bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post a new tutorial on this channel or the upcoming tutorial of this series. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. Okay, so here is our project, and this project is created from this starter template. So here I am providing a basic setup of the app. You can download it from here, and then you can follow the instructions to run the app. And here I have mentioned that what are the packages which I have added here. So here if we go to package.json, then we can see Axios I have added expo linear gradient, and React Native SVG and this React Native SVG transformer. I have mentioned all these things over here, and also additionally I have used this JSON server to create REST API endpoint. So whatever the data we will present on the app, the products categories and all, those are coming from this JSON file, and from this JSON file I can create local REST API endpoint by using this JSON server package. So I have installed it, and I have mentioned it here that I haven't installed it in this project. So here in the package.json you cannot see that I haven't installed that in the project, but I have installed that on my machine globally by using this command, and then by using this command we can run the API. So let me copy it, and here we have the JSON file within this data directory, and here we have the data. Okay, so here we have all the data. So first we have the sell product, then we have the categories and all. So all the data is present here, whichever is needed to create our screen. Let me open a new terminal, and here let's provide this command, and here we can see these are the endpoints which have been created. So here let me copy and paste it here. So here we can see this is the endpoint, and this is the data which we are getting, and it is from this JSON file, and this JSON server package is creating this REST API endpoint. So that is what I will use in this project. That is the setup which I want to explain, and I have already provided that guide to this starter template. I will provide the link of this starter template in the description below. Now let's discuss the project structure. Within the app directory I have this tabs directory, and also we have these files, this index, sign in, sign up and layout. And along with that I have this components directory which is empty as of now. We have constants, which is the colors constant. These are the colors which we are going to use on our app. Then I have already expanded this data, and we have these types. So all the type, the product type, the category type, whatever type we are going to use, that definition is here. Now let's see. In the index we have this welcome screen. So this is the welcome screen, and here I have this button to go to sign in screen and the sign up screen. So that is the setup I have done, and that is from this layout. So here we can see this is the tab layout, and for the sign in and sign up I have provided this presentation as model. So that's how it is opening, right? And from the sign in screen we can go to app home screen, and that is the tabs directory. So here in the tabs directory we have this home screen, and then we have the explore, notification, cart and profile, and I have provided a basic setup here. So if I go to layout, this is our tab layout, and here I have provided this title and the icons for each of the tabs. And here you can notice that for the cart we have this TabBar badge, and I have provided number 3, so that is being presented here like this. So these are the options. By default expo router has, basically it is not the expo router, it is for the React navigation, on top of which the expo router have been built. So these attributes are from the React navigation. So that is what I have provided in the starter template, but as I have shown you in the demo, this is I am not going to use. It will be completely customized. The icons are looking pretty much similar because I have used the same icon, but as you have seen in the demo that for the profile we don't have this icon, and also we have a line on the top for each of the active tabs which is being animated when we are switching to different tabs. So that is what we are going to implement. And at that time also this TabBar badge will not work. That will have a different kind of implementation of this badge. I will cover all those things in details when I am going to create this custom button TabBar. As of now, let's not focus into this. Let's first go to this welcome screen. First we are going to implement the design for this welcome screen, sign in screen and sign up screen. And here I also want to mention one thing. For the index I have provided this link href to open the model or go to other screen. We normally can use link href, which I have used here, but for the sign in I have commented it out. I haven't used the link component here, and why I have done that I want to discuss that. So here let me comment this on press and let's remove the comment from this link. So right now we are navigating through link, right? So let me reload it once and let's check it. Now if I click on go to app home screen, then nothing happens. I'm clicking here but nothing happens. But if I close it, then we can see that we are presented with this home screen already, but our model was presented on top of it. So that is what is happening while I am using link. It is not dismissing the model, so that's why I have to intentionally dismiss it. So to dismiss it, I have provided this router.dismissAll function. So by this, it is first dismissing the model and then it is pushing this tab layout. So that's what I have done. So right now if we see, after clicking on that, the model is gone and we are presented with the home screen of the app. So this is the proper way. So this is how the UI UX should be. So that is what I want to discuss. That is what I have provided in the starter template, and these are the all the vital points which I wanted to discuss before starting to implement any new thing. I think it is worth spending this much time to discuss all these points. Now let's implement the design from the index, which is our welcome screen. Okay, so first for this welcome screen, we don't need this header, and to get rid of that, I can use this React fragment, and then let's import stack from expo router. And for the screen options, let's provide header shown as false. So the header has been gone. Now after that, first we have an image as background for this screen, and that image I have already provided here in the images directory. I have this eCommerce splash. So this is the image which I am going to use, and also with that I have provided this Google logo and this cell banner. These are the image files which I am going to use in this tutorial. So first let's provide that image, and that will be an image background which needs to be imported from React Native. And let's provide the image background source, and here it will be required as I'm going to use local asset, and then the image name, and that is eCommerce / JPG. Now after that I need to provide style, and it will be flex 1 only, and then for the resize mode I will provide cover. Now let's move these things within this image background. So here we can see our image background, and we can see these text. These are not properly visible, but we will make it soon. Now after the image, we need to provide the linear gradient, and that we can do within this container view. Let's provide linear gradient, and this linear gradient will be imported from expo linear gradient package. So here first we need to provide the colors. First it will be transparent color, then I will provide RGBA color, and this one will be white color. So it will be 255255, and for the opacity I will provide 0.9. Let's wrap these things in linear gradient, and after that here we can see we have this linear gradient, but we need to provide some styling to it, right? So let's provide style. Let's call it background. For this one also it will be flex 1. For the position it will be absolute. Then let's provide top 0, bottom 0, left and right 0. So throughout the screen we have this linear gradient present, but I don't want it like this. Let me add another color here, which is also will be the white color, but this time it doesn't have any opacity. This is what I want, and I want to present these things, these contents in this part of the screen. So that means it will be flex end. So here let's provide justify content flex end. So here it is. Now within this linear gradient I want to create another view, and let's name this as wrapper. Let's create that wrapper here. First provide padding bottom 50, and to see that I need to close it here. So now it is looking good. Let's provide padding horizontal and it will be 20, and also I will provide align item center to align these things at center. So it is good. Now let's provide style for this text. It will be title and the title would be shop X. Now let's create the title. For the font size I will use 22. Let's provide color, and for the color I have this colors constant, so let's import that, and after that I will use our primary color. So this is the text. Now let's provide some more style, and for the font weight I will use 700. For letter spacing let's give this value. Finally for the margin bottom let's provide 5. Okay, it will be 2.4. Now it is looking good. Now similarly I need to create description, and here I need to provide a description, a tagline, whatever you can call it. So let's provide a slogan here: one-stop solution for all your needs. And let's provide style for this description. Font size 14. For the color let's use gray color. For letter spacing let's provide 1.2. For line height let's provide 30, and finally for the margin bottom I will provide 20. So this section is complete. Now after that we need to provide the buttons, the social login buttons. So after this text let's create a view, and within this view we will provide the social login, and the button will be similar to this. So let me provide it here. Now for this view let's provide a style social login wrapper, and with the text I need to provide an icon. For the icon I will use mail outline. For the size of it let's provide 20, and for the color let's give black color. Now let's provide some style here. For the touchable opacity it will be button, and for the text it will be button text, and instead of this text I will provide continue with email text. Now let's create these things. So first we have the social login wrapper, then we have the button, and then we have the button text. Now let's create all these things. For the button it will be flex direction row. Okay, it will be styles button text. Okay, so flex direction row, and then let's provide a padding 10. Give a border color gray color. Let's provide border width, and for the border width I will use this hairline width. For the width of the button I will use 100%. So now nothing happens after using 100%. So now here for the wrapper I need to provide align self as stretch. So now it have been stretched. Now let's see, if I comment out this with 100% then nothing happens. So this width is not required. Instead of this let's provide align items center and justify content center to make it center align. Now for the button text let's provide font size 14, font weight 600, and the color would be black color. And now let's provide some gap in between these two. So I can provide margin left here, also I can provide gap. So instead of margin left I will use gap. So here I can see a proper gap is present, right? Now for this border let's provide a border radius. So now it's looking good, and along with this let's provide margin bottom 15. So it is looking good. Now let's copy this 2 more times, and after that here it will be continue with Google Apple. First we will have the email Google, then Apple, and with the Apple it will be logo Apple. So it's looking good. For the Google I can use logo Google, but this one is not colored as Google has multiple color in its logo, so it is not looking good. So that's why I have provided this Google logo SVG. And to use this SVG, I have already added React Native SVG transformer package. So by using that package, I can import SVG like this. Okay, so I have provided a name to this import, and I can use this Google here. Instead of this icon, I can use it here like this, and let's provide a width 20 and height 20 as well. Here we can see it have been changed, and now it is looking good. Now after these buttons, we will have a text, and that text will say already have an account. If we have an account, then it will say us to log in or sign in, and all these things will be in the same line. So I need to wrap this text here. Now let's provide some style for these things. Let's name it as login text. Then for this sign in button text, it will be login text span. So let's create this. So first I want to provide a margin top here, and it is 30. Then for the font size, I will use 14 pixel. Let's provide black color, and 24 pixel for the line height. Now for this button text, let's provide color. It will be primary color. Let's provide a bold font weight, which is 600. Here we need to use this space like this. So that's how we can have a space in between this text. It will be sign in, and for this one it will be sign up. And for these buttons, we actually don't have anything, so let's get rid of these things, these links. So now it is looking good. The UI is complete, but now let's provide some animation. So if I reload it, then suddenly all these things are appearing, which is not looking that much great. To make it better, I can provide some animation. Let's first provide the animation for this text, and it is from React Native Reanimated. So let's import this animated from React Native Reanimated, then dot text. So here also it needs to be closed like this. Then let's provide entering animation, and for it I will use fade in right. Let's provide 500 millisecond delay, and for the duration I will provide 300. So that's how it is appearing. Now let's copy this entering and let's use that here. And to use the entering, I need to make it animated text, and here for this thing I will provide delay 500. Okay, so now let's reload. So first it will appear, then this. So that is the delay. Now after that, for these buttons, let's provide the animation, and for the animated we don't have anything for touchable opacity. We have the view, so I can use the view, and this view is only specific for the animation. To apply the animation, I am using this view, otherwise this view is not necessary. And other than this view, I cannot use link or touchable opacity as an animated component. So that's why I am using this view. Now let's wrap it properly, and here let's provide entering animation, and for this one I will not use fade in right, I will use fade in down, and here I will provide duration 500. Let's save it. So that's how the animation is. Now let's do similar thing. Let's copy it and let's provide it here. Let's change the duration. For this one I will provide duration 700, and for this one I will provide duration 1100. Now save it. So that's how it is. Now let's reload it. So that's how the animation is looking good. I just want to provide one more property here, which is Springify for this text animation. Okay, so that's how it is. So I am satisfied with this one. So this is done. Now let's go to our sign in or sign up screen. So first let's implement the sign up screen. So for the sign up screen, first we need to provide the title here, and for that let's create the React fragment and it will be stack screen options. Let's provide header title and it will be sign up. Now after that I want to provide an icon to go back to previous screen. In the model, if we drag it down, then it will be closed. Many users might not know about that, so that's why I want to provide an icon here. And also for Android, it will not have this kind of layout, and that time that icon will work as well. So let's provide header left and let's create a button with touchable opacity, and it will be an icon and the icon will be close. For this size I will use 24 pixel and let's provide the black color here. Okay, so that's how it is. Now let's provide on press in it and it will be router back. So now if I click here, then it is closed, right? Then here let's provide create an account. Let's provide title style. Font size would be 24. For font weight I will use 600. For letter spacing let's use 1.2. For the color let's provide black color and let's provide a 50 pixel margin bottom. And then here I need to create a text input field. So for this text input it will be email address, the placeholder. For the placeholder text color I will provide gray color. Now let's provide style to it. Let's provide white color in the background. For padding vertical let's use 12. For padding horizontal use 18. Let's provide stretch for align self. So here it is stretching to all the way to the edges of the screen. So for that here I will provide a padding 20. So now it is looking good. For border radius let's use 5. Font size I will use 16 pixel. And now for the color I will use black color, and the color is the color for the text which the user will type here. Then finally let's provide margin bottom 20. And also here let's provide a background color, the background, which is this color in the background. And as we will need this text input field quite a few times, so that's why I'm going to create a component for it. So within component let's create input field tsx file, and from here let's copy it and use it here. Similarly let's cut it from here and use it here. Let's import text input from React Native. Now instead of this text input here, let's use input field. Okay, so it is similar. Now I want to customize it a bit, and the customization would be this, that this text input field will have this style. Other than that I will not provide anything here. I want to provide the props. So from here I want to provide the text input field props. So that's why I have destructured the props here. So whatever props I will use, that will be applied here. And I want to use the text input field prop, and that I can get by react.components prop type of text input. So now it is blank. Now let's provide placeholder. So here we can see we have this suggestion for the props which are for the text input field, right? So let's provide placeholder email address. For placeholder text color it will be gray as I have provided before. Now let's provide auto capitalize as none, so that this first letter doesn't get capitalized by itself. Let's reload it, and now let's check. So it is not getting capitalized. Okay, and let's provide keyboard type as email address. It will present the proper keyword for this email address type. Now after this we will have password, and for this one it will not have these things. It will be secure text entry for the password. We don't want to display any character, so that's why it will be secure text entry. So it will be like this. So now save it. After that, let's copy it again, and this time it will be confirm password. Now after that, let's create the button. So it will be touchable opacity. Let's provide style for this text. Let's provide button text. Now let's create these styles. For the button background color, I will provide primary color. Okay, it is styles.button text. For the padding vertical, I will use 15. For the padding horizontal, I will use 18. Let's provide stretch for the align self. For align items, it will be center so that the text is in the center. For the border radius, let's provide same border radius as the text input fields, which is 5. Now for the margin bottom, let's provide 20. Now I need to provide the color for the text, and the color would be white. Let's increase the font size, and let's provide a bolder font weight. So now it's looking good. After this, I want to provide this text, so I can copy it from here. Let's use it here. Let's import the link from export router, and then let's copy it from here and paste it here. Ideally it should be in another component, as I have done for this button. For this one I am skipping this part. Now after this text, we need to create a divider, and for that it will be a view, and let's name it as divider. I will provide border top. So for the color of it, I will use gray color. For the border top width, I will use hairline width. Now let's provide a width for this view, which is 30%. So here we can see that. For this one, margin bottom, I will provide 30, but here we need some margin. Here I have provided it at the top, which I don't require. So it is like this. So it's looking good. Now after that, we will have the social buttons. So these will be similar as this one. So I can create a component for this. So let me cut it from here, and let's create social login buttons tsx, and here paste it. Let's import it from React Native Reanimated, and let's add all missing import. So most of the imports have been done. I think I need to import this Google SVG. So let me cut it from here and paste it here. Now after that, I think we are left with the styles, and these are the styles for it. Okay, so I think I have provided everything. Now save it. So after saving, here we are not seeing these buttons. Now let's import social login buttons. Let's reload it. So here we can see it is working perfectly well, right? Now here we have provided a link which I want to provide from here. So for that, let's provide a prop, and it is for email link. So I have named it as email href, and let's provide string type here as of now, and let's destructure it from props, and now let's use that here. Here we can see we are having an error, and here it is mentioning what it should be. So here for the href, it is mentioning that it should be like this. So I can copy it from here, and instead of string I am using this one, and this href needs to be imported from expo router. Now the error has been gone. Now let's save it. So here we haven't provided that, so let's provide that, and here we can see we have the proper suggestion. right? So that's good. We have implemented it properly with the help of TypeScript. So now it is done properly here. Now for the sign up, let's import that. After this divider here, let's provide that social login, and for the email href, let's provide sign in for this one. Okay, so it is working perfectly well. We can see the animation is also working good. Now let's click here. So the sign in is opened. So now we need to focus into this. Now this is pretty simple. I can just copy all these things from here. Let's provide here, and I want to copy this thing because this is the useful one. Cut it from here and then we can get rid of this. So here for this touchable opacity on press, I need to provide this, and here it will be login button. Now let's import all the missing imports. So most of the things, yeah, all the things are done. Now let's copy these styles and paste it here. Now we need to remove this confirm. It will be login to your account. It will be don't have an account, sign up, and for this one it will be sign up. So now it is good. I think the color import is not proper. Yeah, it is not proper. Let's remove the import and import it from our constant. Yeah, now it is good. Now after clicking on login, we are presented with the home screen. Now we need to focus into that, and more specifically we need to first focus into this part, this custom button tab, and that is from this tab layout. So let's customize it. To customize this button tab bar, first I will go to this React navigation documentation, and here for the tab bar we have this example, and this is the function that returns React element to display as the tab bar. So this is what I am going to use, and here we can see for the tab navigator we can pass this custom component as tab bar like this. So let me copy it from here and let's provide that here, and it will be this. So this is our custom React component. So for that, here let's create that tab bar. I have pasted it here. Instead of my tab bar, I will name it as tab bar, and let's export it. And here I need to provide the type, and it will be bottom tab bar prop, and that I need to import from React navigation bottom tab bar props. So now I can use it here. So now the error have been gone. Now let's save it first, then here instead of my tab bar, let's import our custom component tab bar, save it, and here it is mentioning that we need to provide a unique key. Now the warning message have been gone. Now we can see this is our custom component present. So now we don't need these tab bar icons here, so I can get rid of it. Instead of getting rid of it, I'm just commenting it out, because these icons will be used later on but not here. For the reference, I'm just keeping it here. So this is the active color, and the active color is working fine. Now with tab bar, I need to create another component called tab bar button, and it will have these things, and I don't need these accessibility things and the test ID, so I can get rid of this. So it will be this. Now instead of touchable opacity, I will use pressable here, and for this one we don't need this key, and we need to get these props. So on press, on long press, is focused label, and finally we need another one which will be route name. On press would be a function, on long press would be the same. For is focused it is a boolean, for the label it is a string, and the same thing for this route name also. So let's destructure all these things here. Now for this style, instead of flex 1 I will use TabBar button, and it will be flex 1, justify content center, align items center, and for the gap of it I will provide 5. So now here instead of this touchable opacity I need to provide this TabBar button, and here let's provide on press, on long press, then let's provide is focused. For route name let's provide route.name. For the label let's provide label, and here we need to provide the key, the unique key. So now it is positioned at the center. Previously the home was not visible, the profile was fully visible. Now the home is also visible, the profile is also visible, not fully, but from the look of it we can assume that this text positioned at the center of these buttons as I have provided here. Now I need to provide some icons, and for that I need to create a constant called icons. So let's create the icon constant, and here for the index I will use this icon. So let me copy it from here and paste it here. So now I need to import icon, and we need to accept the color, it will be a string. So now let me copy it several times. So after index it will be explore. So here we need to provide the name of the file name as it is here. So I have provided index because we have index.tsx for the home screen. So that's what I have provided here, as here we provide name for the tab screens, right? So that is what I have provided here. So it will be explore, then notifications, then it is cart, and finally it is profile. So let me copy it from here. Okay, I don't need the color, I just only need this icon. So for the explore it is search outline. For the notification I just need this name, notification outline. For the cart I need the name only, and for the profile instead of this icon I will use an image, and the image needs to be imported from React Native. And here let's provide an URI, and here it is the URL from which we will get the random user image. Then I need to provide the style, and the style I'm not getting the style because I don't have the style sheet. So let's create that. So import style sheet from React Native, and then here we can create that. So styles user image, height 24, width same. For border radius let's provide 20. Now save it. After that we need to export it, and then let's use it here. I need to import icon from icon constant. Okay, now here let's pass the route name. So based on the route name we will return the icon. Okay, so that is the route name I have provided here, and let's provide color, and it will be based on is focused. So if it is focused then it will be primary, otherwise it will be black. Now save it. So after saving, here we can see we have the icon present. Okay, and also with the icon we have this user image instead of icon for this profile. Now here let's provide a style here. So here also similarly we need to create the style sheet TabBar. Now let's create that TabBar style. So here the flex direction is row, which was present there before. Now let's provide padding top, padding bottom 40, and for the background color let's provide white color. So now it is prominent. Now most of the customization is done for this one. Now we are left with the animation. We need to provide a bar on top of the active button, and then that will be animate. And other than that animation, we need to provide the badge, the custom badge, because right now this badge will not work. As you can see, we have already provided it here, but it is not working here because it is completely customized component which we are using, so it will not have any effect of this TabBar badge. So let me provide that badge first, and that we can provide here. So here we are providing the icon. Before the icon, let's provide a view. Cart badge is here. So here we are seeing that this number which I have provided, it is present for all of the tab item, but I don't want to provide that for all. I only want to provide that for cart. So I can check that with route name. If the route name is cart, then only we want to display it. So after saving, here we can see it is only present here. So now let's provide the style for this view and the text. It will be styles.badge wrapper badge text. So for the badge wrapper, let's provide the position absolute. For the background color, let's provide highlight. Let's provide top -5. So here is that text. Right would be 20. Now let's provide padding vertical 2, padding horizontal 6, border radius 10. So it is looking good, but here we can see that cart is on top of the badge, but badge should be on top. So that's why let's provide Z index 10. So now the badge is on top of the cart. It is fine. Now let's provide the style for this badge text. So let's provide color, black color. For the font size, let's use 12. So that's how we have customized our badge. Now let's provide the animated bar here. So for the animation, first here let me create a view, and this view for the bar which will be on top of the active tab. So here let's provide some style. Let's provide position absolute. For the background color, let's provide primary. For top it will be 0. For the left it is 20. Let's provide height 2 pixel, and for the width, as of now, let's provide 20. So that is the bar. Now let me increase the width a bit so that it is prominent. This width is not final. It should be the animated view. So let me provide animated, and this animated would be imported from React Native Reanimated, so that we can provide the animation style here. And we need to provide the width dynamically. For that, first I need to create a state called dimensions, and here let me provide some default value, and this value doesn't mean anything because these are not the final value. We will set the height and width by the set dimensions, and then from the dimension we will get the proper width, which will be the dynamic width for the buttons that we will set here. So we need to get a button width. For that we need to set the dimension, and we can set the dimension by on TabBar layout, and that we need to provide for the on layout prop of this view. So here we can get the layout change event, and this needs to be imported from React Native. Now let's set the dimension here. So here for this event dot native event layout height, we can get the height. So similarly we can get the width as well. Now as we have set the dimension height and width, so we can get it from the dimension and we can get it to determine the button width. It will be dimensions dot width by routes length. So how many routes we have present here, based on that we will get the button width. So this complete view is this tab bar. So for this tab bar layout we are getting the height and width. So we are getting the width and distributing by the routes length. Right now it is 5. If it is 3 or 2 or 4, whatever the number is, that will be the number here, and the width will be divided by that number, and by that we will get the button width. And from that here we can provide the button width. So let me first provide the button width here. So that's the button width and I want to provide half of it, so like this. So that is the bar which I have created. Now let's animate it. So for that let's create a use shared value called tab position x. For this let's provide 0, and this use shared value is imported from React Native Reanimated, and this will be useful for the animation. So let's create animated style. It will be use animated style, which is also from React Native Reanimated. Now let's return transform. Let's provide translate x. So tab position x dot value. So we have provided the tab position x value, but we are not updating the value. Now let's do that. Let's update that value within use effect hook. We can update it in the onPress event also, but that is not perfect. The perfect position of it would be this use effect, and this is a specific use effect. Let me implement it, then I will explain it. Let's provide tab position x value and we will change it with timing. So it is button width state dot index. So whatever the index value of the current tab is, that will be multiplied by button width. Right now the index is 0, so tab position value would be 0 multiplied by button width. So whatever the button width is, it is 0, so the value would be 0. If it is 1, so the button width multiplied by 1, so it will have the value of a button width, so it will be positioned in that manner. So that's how we are providing the value, and we are providing the value with timing. So let's provide the timing here. So here it is the duration 200 millisecond, and for the use effect let's provide the dependency, and the dependency is state index. So whenever the index changes, so if I click here, that time the index changes, so that time it will update this value. So that is what I have mentioned here. This onPress is also a place when it is updating, so there also we could provide this, but not always we go to any tab by clicking on the tab. So that's why this is the perfect position. Whenever we go to a new tab, that time this use effect will trigger, because the index will be changed. Whether I am clicking on the tab or not, the index is getting changed, so the tab position value will update, so our animation will be properly visible. Let me provide the animation here. So it is the animated style. Now let's reload it once. Okay, so now we can see the animation is working perfectly well, right? So the customization for this tab bar is complete. Now we need to design the home screen. So for that we need to go to this index.js, and here first we need to see the products. So here are the endpoints from which we can get the response. First I'm going to get the products. So let me just copy it, and here I need to get the products. So first let me create a function called get products, and here let's provide the URL, and here to get the response I have created this response const, and I can get the response by Axios. So this Axios needs to be imported, then axios.get, and here we need to pass the URL and we need to provide await keyword for it. So this function needs to be async function, then only we can use the await, and then let's output the response in the console log. So it will be response.data, and here let me call it in use effect hook. Let's save it, and after saving we can see the response here. Our get products function is working perfectly well. So now we need to create some state. So first I will create product state. We need to provide use state hook, and that needs to be imported from React Native, and this use effect is also imported from React Native, and it will be an empty array by default, and we need to provide the type of it. And here I have already created the type definition. So here we have the product type, so I can use that here. So this is the product type which needs to be imported from the type, and this will be array of that. So we need to provide that array like this. And along with that, let me create another state called isLoading, and it will be boolean type, and by default I will provide true for its value. Now we can set the product here, and we can set it by the response data, and along with that set loading as false. Now we need to display the product here. So here after this text, let me create a flat list, and for the flat list data I will provide the products. For the key extractor we can get the item, and then let's return an unique value. We can use the ID, and we need to convert it to string. That's how I will provide the key extractor, and then let's render the item. So for render item, here we will get index and item, and based on that we can provide the item detail. So here let me first provide item title. So here we can see our data is being present properly, and we don't need these center alignment things. So now first I want to provide a header here, because here in the header we will provide the logo and the search bar. So let me provide that now here, and for that I have created this React fragment, and here let's import stack. For stack screen option, let's first provide header shown as true. So here is our header, and now we need to customize the header, and for that here we can provide the header, and here we can provide our custom component. So let me create a component here, and the name of the component would be header. So let me import that here. So now here we can see the header. Now we need to work on this. So first here we need to handle this section, and for that we can use this use safe area insets hook, which is from React Native safe area context. For this view, let's provide the style padding top, and it will be insets.top. So by using this hook we are getting the access of the safe area spaces. So here as you have seen that we have top, left, bottom, right, all the options are available. Here for this header I need to provide the space for the top, and now all the things are visible properly. And along with that I need to provide some styles. So for that I will create a container style, and let me create that here. But I haven't provided that here because in this function we have this inset, so we can access it from here only. So that's why I have provided it here. So now for the container, let's provide some styles, and to provide that let me copy this text another time, and let's call it search. So there should be two components, one will be logo and the other one would be the search bar. We need to position those beside each other, so that's why the flex direction should be row. And then for the justify content I need to provide space between, and for align items I need to provide center. For the background color of it I will provide, so I need to import colors, and then let's provide white. Now I need to provide a padding horizontally. For the padding bottom let's provide 10. So now it is looking good. Now let's provide the logo, and for the logo it is nothing, just some text. Let's provide style for it. So let's create the logo here. For the font size, I will use 24 pixel. For the font weight, I will use bold and that will be 700. And now I need to provide the color. It will be our primary color. So it's looking good. Now we need to create the search bar, which will look like a normal search bar, but it will be a button. So that's why I need to provide touchable opacity, and within that I need to provide this text. With that I need to provide an icon, and that icon would be search outline. For the size of it I will use 20, and for the color I will use gray color. So this is the search bar. Now let's provide the style here, and let's call it search bar. Now for the search bar, first we need to provide flex 1. Let's provide a background color for it, and that will be color background. So now you can see this is how the flex 1 is working. So it has expanded throughout the available space. Now let's provide a border radius 5, and for the padding vertical I will provide 8 pixel, then 10 pixel for the padding horizontal. And obviously the flex direction would be row, because these things needs to be in a row. Finally I need to provide justify content space between. So now it is looking good. Now I need to provide a space in between these two components, and that I can do by providing a gap here. That should be 15. So now it is looking good. And here for this search text, let's provide a style called search text, and here let's provide the color gray. So now it is looking good. Now I need to provide the functionality to go to search screen or explore screen. So for that I have used link, and here let's provide explore, and here I need to provide this as child prop. So now we can see that it is working perfectly well. And when we are going to this explore tab, that time the animation is also working properly, right? So the animation is not only working on clicking on this tab bar, it is also working whenever we will go to any tab screen. So the header is done. Now let me focus into creating this render item for the products. Okay, so here first let me provide a view, and within this view let's provide the image, and the image needs to be imported from React Native. And for the image source URI we need to provide the image source URL, and here we can see for the data we have multiple images for a product. We want only one image to display here, so that's why it will be item images and the first image, which will be 0 index. Then we need to provide some style for it. So let's create these styles. For the image width I will provide 100%. For the height I will use 200, and then let's provide a border radius of 15 and a margin bottom of 10 pixel. Now save it. So here we can see the image. Now I want to display two products in a row. For that we need to provide num columns equal to 2. Now let's reload it. So here we can see we have two items in a row, but it is not properly styled. So I need to fix that. For that first I'm going to separate these things in a new component. So let's cut it from here and create a component called product item. And here let's paste it, and we need to import the image, and then let's cut this product image from here to here, and then finally we need to pass the item prop. So here we need to get the item, and that will be product type, and it will be single product. So I haven't provided any array here, and here I am getting it. So now it is fine. Now let's import product item here, and let's pass the item prop. So now it is looking same as before. Now we need to work on this style here. So here first I am going to get the screen width, and that I can get from dimensions dot width. So let's provide style here. For this view I will provide container style, and for the width of it, it will be width by 2. Okay, so now both the items have properly distributed size. Now for this container in the index, we don't need this flex 1 because all these items in the flat list already taking this space, but I need to provide the margin horizontal and that will be 20. Now we can see that it is cropping some image. That's why here for the width I can provide width minus 40. And why 40? Because for the margin horizontal I have provided 20. Horizontally both side we have 20 pixel padding. So that's why from the total width I'm reducing 40 pixel. Now save it. So now it is fine, right? And now I want to provide some space here in between these two products. So for that, first I can do width reduction from this container. This is providing the half of the width which we have got here, right? So from here if I minus 10, so it will have minus 10 and it will have minus 10. So by this we will get extra 20 pixel space available which we can provide here. So now save it. So here we can see that we have the available space here, but we want to provide that space in between these two items. So for that here I can provide content container style, and here for the justify content let's provide space between. Okay, it is not the content container, it would be column wrapper because these are the column and I have provided this space between. That available space is now in between these two items. So now it is properly positioned. Along with this I want to provide margin bottom 20. So now it is looking good. Now let's provide other information of the products. So first for each of the products we will have a bookmark icon. So after this image let's create that, and that will be a button. So that's why I am using touchable opacity, and for this touchable opacity we need to provide an icon, and that icon would be heart outline. For the size of it I will use 22, and for the color of it I will use black color. So here is the icon. Now I need to position it here. So for that let's provide some style and let's name it as bookmark button. So first we need to provide position as absolute. Let's position it at right side. So right 20. For the top also I will provide 20 pixel. So now it is positioned in a proper place. Now let's provide a background color, and that will be RGBA background, and I will provide this white color with this 0.6 opacity. Let's provide a padding 5, and then let's provide a border radius to make it rounded. So now it is looking good. Now for the product name we need to provide the style. It will be title. So let's create the title style here. For the font size let's use 14. For the font weight I will use 600. For the color of it I will use black color. Now for the letter spacing I will use 1.1. Yeah, it's looking good. Now above this text I will provide some information related to product, which will be the price and the rating. So here for that I have created a view, and within this view I will provide that price. So first let's provide the text, and here it will be item price, and along with that we need to provide the dollar symbol. So I have provided that, and then we need to provide the rating, and here for the data we don't have any rating, so I cannot get that rating from the item. So I will provide a random number here, and for that also I am creating a view, because for the rating also we need to provide two items. The first one would be the star icon. So let me create that. For the star size I will provide 20 pixel, and for the color of it I will use this color. And after this star I need to provide the actual rating number, and that would be, let's say, 4.7. So these are the data which will be here. Let me provide the styles for this. So first for this wrapper view it will be product info. Then for this price text it will be styles.price. For this rating view it will be rating wrapper. For the text it will be rating. So now let's create all of these. So first we have the product info, then we have the price, rating wrapper and rating. So we have the price, then rating wrapper and rating. So now for the product info it will be flex direction row. For justify content let's provide space between, and let's provide a margin bottom 8. For the price font size I will use 16. For the font weight I will use 700, and for the color of it I will use primary color. Now let's provide style for this rating wrapper, and it will be flex direction row. For the align items, let's provide center, and let's give a 5 pixel gap. For the rating I will provide 14. Font size, for the color I will use gray color. So all of it is looking good. Now I want to provide an animation here, and for that here it will be animated view, and this animated is from React Native Reanimated, and here we need to provide the entering effect, and that we can get from here. And here we have provided fade in right. Let me go to this social login button, and here we have provided fade in down. I'm going to use this one, so let me copy it and let's paste it here. So let's update the import. Here I need to close it. So now we can see it is having that animation, but all of the items are appearing at the same time. I don't want that. I want to provide some delay in every item. So for that, for the delay, I can provide dynamic delay, and for that I need to get the index also. So let me get it, and it will be a number type. So here for this product item I need to provide the index as well. Okay, now I can use that here. So with 300 I will first get the index here, and then I can use it here. So with 300 I can plus the index into 100. So by this the delay will be increased for each of the item as the index increases. Now save it. After that let's reload it. So here you can see right now all the items are appearing separately, right? Now here let's change this text to for you, and it will be the title. And let me create a view here and provide that text within the view. And also let's create another component which is touchable opacity, and here we will have the see all button. So for this view let me provide the style as title wrapper, and for this text for the button I will provide title button. So let me create those here. So first for the title wrapper let's provide flex direction row, then space between for the justify content, and let's provide a margin bottom 10. For the title let's provide font size 18. For the font weight I will provide 600. For letter spacing I will use 0.6, and finally let's provide the color. It will be the black color. Now for the title button let's provide font size 14, font weight 500, and then it will have the similar letter spacing and color. So now it is looking good. Now I want to move these to a separate component. So cut it from here, and let's create a separate component called product list. And here let's paste it, and now update the import for the flat list. Okay, so all the imports have been done. Now after that we need to copy these styles here. So let's cut these styles from here and paste it here. And now we need to get the products. So the products will be the array of the product type. So now here let's import the product list component. Let's provide the products here. Here I haven't get the products prop. So now let's see. Okay, now it is working well. Now after that, as this product list is done, after this header first we have the category list. So now I need to create that. So for that first let me create the categories component here, and let's import it here. And for the categories we need to create similar function. So let me copy it, and it will be get categories, and for the endpoint it will be this categories endpoint, and instead of setting products it will be categories, and the type would be category type. and let me comment out the console log here. Let's use this console log, and here let's call the get categories function in the use effect hook. Okay, so here we can see the category. Now I need to pass that here. So here let's get the categories, and it will be array of this category type. So we can pass the categories. Now we can get it here, but before that let me copy this title wrapper from this product list and paste it here. So I need to copy this title wrapper and title styles as well. Let's paste that here and update the import. And here for this title wrapper, let's provide margin horizontal 20. So now it is looking good. Now after this title wrapper, let's create a flat list. For the data, I need to provide these categories. For the key extractor, I will use the same. So let me copy it from here and paste it here. And then for the render item, let's get the item index, and then within the view first output the item name. So here is the item name. I need to make it horizontal. Now let's get the image here. Let's provide image URI, and it will be item image. For the style of it, let's provide item image. Now create that, and I will provide 50 for the height and width of the image. For the border radius, I will use 30. For the background color, I will use light gray. Okay. For this view, let's provide style item, and here let's create the item style. So first let's provide margin vertical 10. For the gap, let's provide 5, and for the align items, let's provide center margin left 20. So now it is looking good. And with that, I don't want to provide this scroll indicator, so that's why I have provided false for the horizontal scroll indicator. Okay, and all of these things would be within touchable opacity, so let's provide that. So now the categories have been done. Now let's focus into the next part, which is the flash sale. So for that, here we need to provide the new component which I need to create here. It would be flash sale. Let's import that here. Now it will be similar to this. Let me copy it from here and paste it here, and then let's copy these things from here. And here I don't think this margin bottom is required because we are providing the margin vertical for the item, right? So that's why we don't need that. And here for this view, let's provide container style margin bottom 20, so that will give some space here. Now I want to provide the title and this container as well, so let's copy that and paste it here. Let's import colors and this touchable opacity, so it will be flash sale. And with the flash sale, here we will have the timer. So beside the flash sale text, we will have the timer. So that's why I'm creating another view, and within this view, let's provide the timer text. So here for this view, let's provide the style timer wrapper, and here it will be flex direction row. Align items would be center. Now here for this timer, I'm going to provide another view, and it will be time outline. For the size of it, I will use 16. For the color, let's provide black color, and here it will be timer, and for the text, it will be timer text. So let's create the timer and timer text. So first for the flex direction, it will be row. For the gap, let's provide 5. Let's provide a background color here, and that will be highlight color. For padding horizontal, I will use 8. For padding vertical, let's use 5. Now let's provide a border radius of 12. So now it is looking good. So here I want to provide some gap in between these. So for that, for this wrapper, let's provide gap 10. For the timer text, I will provide the black color, and for the font weight, let's provide 500. So the timer would be like this. So the design is complete for this. Now let's create the countdown timer. And for that, first I need to create a state for time units. Let's provide some values. So here I have created this days, hours, minutes and seconds, and by default I have provided this 0 value. So these are the time units which we need to use for the timer. Now after that, within use effect hook, we need to create few functions. First it will be calculate time units, and for this we will get the time difference, and that will be number type. Now let's create second, and it will be this, and then based on these seconds we can set the time units. And let me paste the time units value here. So here we are creating the time units value based on the seconds for the days, hours and minutes. So here you can see that is the formula. You can take note of this and use as it is. So this is the formula for these time units. So this is the function for the calculating time units, and by this we are setting the time units. So from this time unit we can get the values later on. Now we need to create another function called update countdown, and here let's get the current date, and we will get the time also. So that's why I have used date.getTime. Then we need to create the expiry time, and here we need to provide the sell end date time. So that's what I need to create, and here I will create that. So I have created sell end date. Now I can set the sell end date. So let's set the date, and I am setting the date from 2 days to current date. With the date I need to set the hours as well, and I will set the time as it is here. So here first it is the hour, then minute, then second. So it is just a second before the midnight. So this is the sell end date which I have created, and for the expiry time I need to provide that. So it is the sell end date, and we need to get the time. Now let's calculate the time difference, and it will be expiry time, current date. So both of these are time, and we can get the difference like this. Now let's check for the time difference. If the time difference is less than equal to 0, then we don't need to calculate any time because the countdown have been finished. Else if it is more than 0, then we need to calculate the time unit based on the time difference. So here as we are getting the time difference, and by this we are setting the time units based on the time difference. So that is what I am doing here. Now let's call this function, and let's provide an interval. For the interval also let's call this function and provide the interval time in milliseconds. So it will be 1000 milliseconds, so that means 1 second. So for each second interval we are updating the countdown, and as we are setting the interval, so we need to clear that also, and we need to clear that in the return clear interval, and let's clear the interval. Okay, so the functionality for the countdown is done. Now outside of this use effect I need to create another function to format time, and here we will get the time, and this will be number type, and here we can return the time, and let's convert it to string, and here let's provide pad start, and here it does this. It will provide the time in this format. 2 digits will be there for each of the time unit. So that's what I have provided 2. And for the fill string, if the number is not present there, then I will provide 0. So it will be like this, and that is the explanation it has provided here. So that is the format time. Now let's provide the values here. First it will be days, so we need to format the time, and then we need to use the time units days. So let me copy it. Then after the days it will be hours, then it will be minutes, and after that finally it will be seconds. Now save it. Now after saving, here we can see our timer is started running. Okay, so here we are setting the time and date, and the date is from 2 days now. If we want to provide any specific date, that also we can do by this set full year. And here let's provide a date like this. So first the year, then the month, and then the date. So I have provided 2nd October 2024. Let's comment out this and let's set the time like this. So this date and this time. So now we can see that it is updated. And here one thing we need to note, that the month is 0 based numeric value, 0 for the January and 11 for the December. So as I have mentioned 10 for October, it is not the case 10 for the November here. If I need to set the October, it will be 9. Right now when I am recording it, it is September 28. So now it is showing the proper days, 4 days from now. So that's how we need to set. So here it is providing that information. So that's how we need to set the specific date and time. So that I wanted to show you, but for this one I'm going to use this 2 days from the current date. So that's the timer. Now we need to get the products as prop. So let's accept that, and it will be product type, array of product type. Let's get the products here. So here let's pass that, and to pass that, here I need to create another function to get the sell products. And for this one we have this endpoint. So let's use that here. And here let's create the state for sell products. And here let's set the sell products. So I can pass it here. And as I'm setting the is loading, so let's consider that also here. If is loading is true, then we need to return a loader, and that will be activity indicator, and it will be large size. Now we are getting the product here. So let's create that, and it will be a flat list. So I can copy it from here. Let's paste it here. Update the import for the flat list, and here it will be products, and it will be horizontal as well. Now here instead of these, it will be product item. Now for the product item, we need to set the index and item. Now save it. So here we can see we have the product list, and here let's provide our wrapper view for each of the product item, and here let's provide margin right 20. And for the content container style, let's provide margin left 20. So now it is looking good. And here at the right side also I need to provide some margin, but it will not be margin, it will be padding right. So now it is looking good. Okay. And for the title wrapper margin bottom, let's provide 20. So the flash sale section is also done. Now after that we need to provide the sale banner, and that is just an image. So let me create a view here, and within the view let's provide the image, and it is the local image. So we have the image within the assets. So here we have the banner, so that we are going to use. It is sale banner JPG. Now let's provide some style here. For the width of it, it will be 100%. For the height, it is 150. For the border radius, I will use 15. Now let's provide some style for this view. So it is margin horizontal 20. So that's it is. And let's provide margin bottom 10. So that's how we have provided the banner here. Now the UI is looking good, but if I try to scroll down, then I can see I'm not able to do that. I can scroll these things horizontally. I can scroll the flash sale horizontally. That is completely fine, but I'm not able to scroll the complete screen. If I want to scroll here, then I can see this particular section is getting scrolled, but it doesn't meet the purpose because we are not able to see the listings, right? And why it is getting scrolled? Because in the product list we have used flat list, right? To scroll complete section, complete app, we need to wrap these things in a scroll view. So let's wrap it with scroll view. Now after saving, we can see we are having an error, and this is the error which is mentioning that within scroll view same orientation component we couldn't use. For this it is scrolling vertically, and for this section also, for this flat list, we couldn't do that. So that's why I need to change it, and for that let me take another prop here called flat list, and based on that I will check it. By default I will set it to true, and here I will check if flat list is true, then I will display this flat list. Otherwise I will display product items but not within the flat list. It will be through map function. Let's provide that. It's products map, and for the map function we will get item and index for the each item, and then we can output the product item within a view. And here let's provide the product item, and the product item will be this same, and here also we are getting the item and index, right? So we are passing that. And why I am keeping this flat list? Because this will be useful for our other screens, so that will be useful for later on. That's why I have kept it, and for the home screen we will require this to get rid of that error. Now save it, and here for the product list, here I need to provide that flat list equal to true. Now I'm not seeing any change here, but it should have a little change. Let me reload it. Okay, I have provided flat list true, but it should be false. So now I can see instead of that error, right now we have warning, and that warning is for the unique key, and that is here for this map function we need to provide the key, and the key could be the index. So the warning has gone. Now we can see this is how we have the product item layout. So now here we need to provide some style. So for this wrapper view, let me provide a style called item wrapper, and here also let's provide a style, and let's name it as product wrapper, and it will be items with S. So now let's copy it and let's create those styles here. Now for this item wrapper, let me provide the style, and the first style would be with 100%. Then I need to provide flex direction row. Here as you can see it is in column layout. The flex direction is column, but I want it to be positioned beside each other, so that's why it should be flex direction row. But when it will be positioned beside, that time I don't want it to position beside like this so that it will be present horizontally. I want it to be present vertically. When it is filled the screen, then the next item should be in the bottom. So that's why I need to provide flex wrap as wrap. Now finally let's provide align items as stretch. So that's how it is. So now it is properly aligned as I want. Now I just want to make the gap in between these two items, and that I can provide from this product wrapper. So here for this I need to provide 50% width. For the padding left I will provide 5, and then for the margin bottom I will provide 20. So now it is looking good, and here we can scroll the categories horizontally. For the flash sale also we have this horizontal scrollable functionality, and here the complete app is getting scrolled vertically. So that's how it should be, and I am keeping it as I have mentioned that later on we can repurpose this, we can use it for other screens. So that is the reason I have kept it like this, and for the home screen we are providing this one. So that is it. That is the tutorial guys. I hope you have learned something new from this tutorial. If you do so, then hit the like button, subscribe to my channel for more tutorials like this, and let me know by commenting down below. If you have any kind of suggestion for me, then also let me know. And don't forget to share this tutorial with your friends and colleagues. And I will see you guys in my next tutorial. In the meantime, have a great day. Goodbye.